So now the temperatures are starting to get up into the 80s and 90s, which means that we're going to be harvesting a lot of the plants that we've been enjoying and eating this winter and spring season. So we'll be transitioning a lot of stuff out and planting new things, which is always exciting. But I do want to take you through today and just give you a tour of the things that we have been eating and enjoying this season, and one last look at our spring garden before it goes into transition. So here we go. So some of the herbs and vegetables that are starting to bolt this season are our lettuces and herbs like cilantro. And so once the cilantro starts to bolt, I usually will try cutting it back a few times as soon as I see those flowers starting to blossom, to try to get some longevity out of it. So usually once I harvest my cilantro, I bring it inside, I give it a good rinse, and then I place it in a Ziploc storage bag with a paper towel, and that usually will help it to keep for at least a few weeks. So I was out here the other day and I noticed that we are starting to get lots of new blossoms on our jalapeno plant. I had trimmed this way back in the colder months and just kind of left it in place, and it has survived well in our raised garden bed. So super excited. And there's a big one, a bigger jalapeno back here. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's a pretty good size one. It's getting there. It's a teenager. So looking forward to that. I definitely love, oh, there's an even bigger, fatter one. I love spicy food and I love adding jalapenos to a lot of my favorite Mexican dishes. So I am looking forward to another year of yummy jalapenos. Another plant that we have really enjoyed this year is our sugar snap peas. These are such a great vegetable to have your kids come out and just grab a handful and snack on them. We're getting to the end of the season, but I think next year my goal is to get these planted a little bit sooner so that we can enjoy them even longer. But they are definitely a wonderful plant that I would highly recommend putting in your raised garden beds. It is definitely helpful to have a vertical trellis for them to climb. They do love climbing, and that is something you could use any vertical support, and they usually will do really well. One plant I'm definitely going to miss harvesting from this summer is our spinach. Our spinach was an absolute delight this season. We used it for so many things, smoothies, salads. We even used it on top of roast chicken. It was, oh, so good. And there's nothing like being able to come out into the garden and pick yummy, fresh spinach. Another plant I'm super excited about is my Mexican marigolds. These actually reseeded themselves from last season, and I am super excited to have them back in my garden beds this summer. They are an excellent companion plant for a lot of vegetables and herbs, and they help to keep a lot of the pests away. I feel like every time I trim back my chrysanthemum plant, it gets bushier and bigger every time. But I am so excited. This thing is just thriving and doing really well. We'll definitely be providing a lot of shade for this plant in the summertime when it gets really hot. But as of right now, it is looking absolutely lush and beautiful. I highly recommend having chrysanthemums in your garden. Not only are they absolutely beautiful to look at, especially when they're in full bloom, but they also are a relative of chamomile. And so if you like or enjoy drinking tea, you can actually use the chrysanthemum flowers to make an herbal tea that is not only delicious, but it is actually really healthy for you. Another vegetable that we have absolutely enjoyed this season is our curly kale. It is absolutely a pleasure to cook with. We can do so many different things with it, and I think I've even mentioned in previous videos that I didn't even know what a fan of kale I was. I thought it was just a garnish for so long, but oh my gosh, we have had so many good meals with this kale. It makes a really great side vegetable, and if your family doesn't like kale, maybe try some of the awesome recipes that they have available online, or let me know if you would like me to share those in the comments below. One of the plants that I am super proud of is my celery. Celery can be kind of hard to grow, or at least get started from my experience, but once it really took off, and we have had so many great uses for it. We've used it in soups and stews and stock. The kids love coming out here and grabbing a few stalks and snacking on it. So I think that is definitely one that I will continue to grow in my gardens in the wintertime. So if you've been following the channel, I may have mentioned in a previous video about growing Swiss chard and strawberries, and it has definitely proven true for me, at least, that the Swiss chard has protected my strawberry plants from a lot of the elements, the cold and the heat, as well as the birds. I wasn't sure growing strawberries if I was going to need any kind of like mesh netting or anything like that, but so far I've only used that a couple times, and I have a ton of strawberries that I'm able to just come in here and pick, and the birds have not touched not one. So I think that if I was to do it again, I wouldn't do anything different. I would continue to grow my Swiss chard with my strawberries to have that protection, and it has been really exciting to see this all come together, and now we are starting to enjoy the fruits of our labors, and so that makes me super happy. And I love strawberries, so there is nothing better than being able to come out here to my garden and collect a lot of strawberries and just enjoy. Oh, it's so good. All right, guys, that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and please, as always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we hope to see you again on the next one. Bye.